What's good, YouTube? Welcome to the channel. And the Sixers just got their best win of the season against the Boston Celtics. It was a nail biter. It was a really good game. If you went to that game live, if you went to that game in the stadium, you guys got your money's worth because just the fight between Embiid, Maxey, watching that two-man game, and also Oubre, and just the ending of that game was kind of crazy. I mean, the Celtics went on like a 10-0 run in the last minute of the game, which is like, that's the Celtics thing. I mean, that we saw that happen in the playoffs, right? Game 6, Tatum he had 20 points in the last 2 minutes of the game or some shit like that. But the Celtics are good at scoring points in a very small amount of time, so we got to account for that. But Sixers played amazing, guys. Our defense is so dominant. Yeah, and that's what I'm gonna start off with, defense. We held Jason Tatum to 16 points, Jaylen Brown to 11 points. And most of their points were in the fourth quarter when they made that comeback. But if our guard play and our wings can lock down these all-star type players, these all-NBA caliber players, oh man, we're in for a treat. Kelly Oubre, great job. D'Anthony Melton, you may be 6'4", but you're guarding Jaylen Brown. You're guarding Jason Tatum, making it hard for them. Good job, man. Who else? Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey looked great defensively this game. Great. He had a chase down block on Drew Holiday. He guarded Drew Holiday. He guarded Jaylen Brown. On some switches, he had to guard Jason Tatum. I got to give my flowers to Tyrese Maxey defensively. He played really good defensively. Also, Joel Embiid, he's the anchor of the team. He made it hard for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to even drive. I didn't see him. Every time they drive, I just saw Embiid in the way, blocking them, or they're just going to pass out. That happened the whole game. The whole game, Embiid was scaring them for drives. Porzingis was their best player with 29 points that game. Porzingis, stretch bigs are Embiid's kryptonite because they want Embiid not to be in the paint. They want Embiid stretched out so that Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown can get an ISO, rim, no one in the paint to contest their shot. But I mean, we did really well. I think we put Tobias in my opinion. What the Celtics did wrong, they put Al Horford and Porzingis on the floor together. And that made Embiid able to guard Horford. And Horford, I'm sorry, he's not as good as he used to be. He can't shoot as well as he used to be. He's not as athletic. So Embiid can kind of get back, and his jump shot's slow as hell, right? Like Al Horford jump shot, you can be in the paint when he catches it, you probably still can contest it. So, once they made that change, Embiid was able to roam the paint and kind of be a free safety, and really affected the way, like I said earlier, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum drove. Derek White, I think Derek White is just a Sixer killer. I don't know, man. Every time you play Derek White, this guy just is such a good defender. He's athletic. He can shoot. He's smart. He's a great passer. Derek White, you got to give him his flowers, man. That guy is a hell of a player. But yeah, defensively, we really did clamp him. I think the Celtics before this game was the number 1 ranked offense, and we held them to 103 points. So, yeah. And Nick Nurse had a quote. He said, "We're not even using 50% of our defensive schemes, so I think we're doing pretty good." I like that, man. I like Nick Nurse, man. He's coaching us up. He's coaching his team up. And if you look at the offense, the points are pretty spread. You have Maxey with 25, 9, and 5, 9 rebounds, which is, hey, Maxey, get those boards, man. You're going to help us get boards. Easy, fast breaks. I'll take that. 5 assists. Joel Embiid, 27 points, 10 boards, 4 assists. Kelly Oubre, 14 points, 8 boards, 1 assist. Tobias Harris, 17 points, 9 boards, 3 assists. The points are spread out, man. And then D'Anthony Melton, 3. Batum, 5. Pat Bev, 2. Rocco, 5. Paul Reed, 8 points and 4 boards. And I got to talk about Paul Reed. Paul Reed was in the game for 11 minutes and had 8 points, 4 boards. That's great. See, that's what we were missing last year and other years before. We didn't have a backup to produce those numbers when Embiid's not on the court. We need a backup who can produce numbers in the short amount of time. 11 minutes, 8 points. That's great. If Paul Reed does that every game, I don't see us losing. That's amazing. That's amazing production without Embiid on the court. And you got to give credit to it's Nick Nurse. It's all. I'm not gonna say it's all Nick Nurse because the players are all they're vibing well. The chemistry. Nick Nurse is a hell of a coach. He's probably my favorite coach ever that we've had. It's not even hard to really we had Brett Brown, Doc Rivers, Doug Collins. Those are the coaches of my timeline for the Sixers. But Yeah, Nick Nurse is easily the best coach we've had in a decade. Joel Embiid is playing the best we've ever seen him play in the first, 7 games of the season. Usually he's a little rusty in the first week. That's what we're used to. He's rusty. He can't shoot. He can't run. But this year, man, he's looking the best shape of his career since I've seen him, when he was a young bull. So, I mean, Embiid's looking good. Tyrese Maxey's looking all NBA level. All-star level. I mean, and the thing is, De'Anthony Melton, I know he's gonna get out of the shooting slump, and we're gonna be even more dominant. If De'Anthony Melton's making more threes, if he's shooting 40% from 3, we're gonna be even more dominant. So, I mean, I'm not gonna hate on D-Melt. D-Melt's having a rough offensive stride, but defensively, he's still giving it his all. He's still shooting. He's not a PJ Tucker where he's gonna be scared to shoot because he's not shooting well. He's gonna be shooting. Pat Bev. Oh, let me talk about Pat Bev. I love Pat Bev. He brings the energy every night. I didn't even talk about him defensively. That is my bad. Earlier, I should have brought his name up because he did a hell of a job defending. He picked up full court half the time. He's just a very good team point guard. When you don't have Tyrese Maxey, and he can really slow down the pace. Well, not even slow down, but just kind of get the offense in motion, right? People are cutting. People doing this. He's passing it to them, making sure they can get the ball. I love Pat Bev, man. At the end of the third quarter, I remember him. It was 20 seconds going down. Crowd was on their feet. Pat Bev gets a screen from Joel Embiid, and he comes in with a nice little floater. Crowd goes wild, and Pat Bev is feeling it. He's putting his hands up in the air, screaming, and then Pat Pritcherson, or whatever his name, Pritcherson, tries to drive, and Embiid gets a swat. The crowd goes crazy, man. I love Philly, man. I love Philly fans. We really embrace these players, and it's nice for the players to win, for the Sixers to win, because from all the disappointments in the playoffs, how hard we can be on our team. And I admit, I was hard on the team. I wish if I was at the game, I would be throwing my drink down there on every game 7 we lost, because it just looks like we quit. I don't think we're going to quit like we did in the other series. There's no way this team is going to quit. I don't see, we're strong-hearted. With Pat Bev on the team, we're not quitting. If he sees Embiid just walking back, he's going to be on his ass. Nick Nurse is going to be on his ass. So we have players and coaches who are going to keep players accountable. We thought Doc Rivers was that coach, but, obviously he wasn't. We have people in the organization who's going to hold these players accountable. That's why we got James Harden out of here. Look what happens when we get James Harden out. Like I've been saying, we're a better team without James Harden. I've always said that. I've always said we're a better team without James Harden, and now we're seeing it. All the people who are like, oh, James Harden's the reason why Embiid got MVP. James Harden is sacrificing. What is James Harden sacrificing? Tell me, what is James Harden sacrificing? Game-wise, basketball-wise. He's not sacrificing shit. Right now, Kemba Walker. That's crazy. I would take Kemba and James Harden. Low key, are like the same, bro. All right, that's a horrible take. No, but that serious though. James Harden is not a good teammate at all. Every team he's had, Chris Paul didn't want to be with him. Westbrook didn't want to be with him. Dwight Howard dipped from him. Now he's back with Kawhi, Paul George, and Russ, and his first 2 games they lost. James Harden is not a good team player. The fact that he came on the team and was like, oh, I don't play for a system. I am the system. What are you talking about? This is not going to be your system in LA. You're playing with Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, who have better careers than you and are better than you. They're flat out better at basketball than you. You can't play defense. What are you talking about? You're the system. You're not the system if you can't play defense. There's defensive systems as well, James Harden. I wonder if he knows that defense is part of the game. Because you're talking a lot. You talk a lot. But you can't back it up in the playoffs. So, he can say he's a system all he wants. While the Sixers keep winning and the Clippers keep losing, right? So, hey, it was a great game, guys. A great game. Great day for a Sixers fan. Great night for a Sixers fan. We beat the top team in the league, the favorites for the finals. And the Sixers are getting the respect, man. But yeah, I'll catch y'all. Peace. Thanks for watching.